Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now, today I'm going to be looking at a band I've not heard yet, but I'm familiar with some of it, if that makes any sense. Today I'm going to be looking at a band called Host. Now, I've never heard any music by this band before, but the band itself is made up of two members of Paradise Lost. Nick Holmes, the vocalist, also the vocalist for Bloodbath as well, and of course Greg McIntosh, who is the guitarist for Paradise Lost. Now, of course, several years ago, Paradise Lost actually released an album called Host. As I understand it, this has nothing whatsoever in common with or to do with that album. So I had to try and find a little bit of information about this band. So what I found out is the origins of Host, the new project featuring Paradise Lost vocalist Nick Holmes and guitarist Greg McIntosh, do not trace back to the 1999 Paradise Lost album of the same name. But instead, it goes back to the West Yorkshire music clubs from the mid to late 80s. While Holmes and McIntosh were already certified MetalHead fanatics, they were also drawn to new wave and gothic music. The pounding rhythms, sublime melodies, and all this, and like the undercurrent of darkness, sort of like drew them into that sort of style of music that created like immediate sort of earworms and stuff that they wanted to investigate further. However, their career in Paradise Lost sort of drew like them into the sort of more heavy gothic sort of death doom sort of style of music, so that sort of got left on the side, as a sort of thing that they would sort of maybe go back to eventually, which is possibly what they were trying to do when they went towards the Host album, because over the years of like 1 Second, Host, Believe in Nothing, their style of music changed quite considerably from what it originally started out to be and is currently now, because they've sort of gone back towards their original sound these days. However, during the pandemic, Greg McIntosh decided that he would go back and investigate this side of their taste of music even further, and he has this good sort of, he has this ability with sound design and the way he plays the guitar and stuff like that. He can create amazing sensations with guitars. I mean, the one of my all-time favourite guitar solos is the guitar solo from Forever Failure. Every time I hear that piece of music, every time I hear that guitar solo, it majorly makes all the hair on my arms stand on end, because it's such a beautiful and emotional piece of music. So he's got a very good skill at that. So during the time of the pandemic, he wanted to go back and sort of reinvestigate this sort of new wave gothic 80s style of music that both he and Nick had a passion for. And that's how this sort of thing seems to have come into being. So I'm very curious about this. I've actually put off listening to any of this for a while because I wanted to look at it here. So yeah, I don't know who else is in the band. From what all I know at the moment is Nick Holmes and Greg McIntosh. That's all I know about it. And obviously, from what I've read, new wave gothic music, this could be very interesting. Now, I have lyrics here which I hope are going to be accurate, because they are fan submitted lyrics. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what this is like. So we're going to jump straight into this. I say straight into this. We're going to jump into this now and have a look. So the track is called My Only Escape by Host. Let's have a look.
Feel the
Interesting. So that was My Only Escape by Host. Now, you can obviously hear throughout the music there is quite an influence of Paradise Lost in there. You know, this could have easily been Paradise Lost in the sort of 99, 2000 era. You know, if they'd released this like after Host and like before Believe in Nothing, I think Believe in Nothing was the follow-up. You know, if they'd released this between the two, you know, and said, you know, this is Paradise Lost, I could have very easily believed it, because it does have a little bit of the feel of Host, not as electronic, because Host you could almost liken to Depeche Mode. But again, that's sort of emotive new wave music, and you know, this is gothic sort of new wave sort of thing. So there are similarities between the two. So, you know, if this had been released by Paradise Lost between Host and Believe in Nothing, I could have very easily gone, yeah, that's Paradise Lost, because Nick Holmes' vocal style, you can definitely tell that it's him. There's something very specific about the guitars as well. You can tell, you know, who it is. You know, if this was played to me, I would go, is that Paradise Lost? You know, is this like B-sides from Host that I never heard? You know, so there's this definite trademark of the band on this music, but in itself, it is still its own thing. You know, it's got a very ethereal feel to it, and I very much like it. I'm very, very intrigued by this. The video is a bit weird to me. I'm not sure if that was a weird person, or you know, if that was a real person with some very odd filters and effects put over the top, or if it was a fully CG animated person. I couldn't really tell. Now, the song itself, My Only Escape, it almost sounds like it's talking about a vampire. Now, obviously, you saw throughout the video that this woman throughout the video was like dressed in black and doing her thing, and her eyes were almost entirely black, and she does have fangs in her mouth, so you know, there is definitely a vampire element to that, and the lyrics themselves seem to suggest something along that sort of line. I mean, the opening line, fear the light, in the hours that darkness takes me, never made sense to me. Now, in the hours that darkness takes me, obviously that's the time when vampires and stuff are very active, as it were, and fear the light, obviously not very good when it comes to sun. And then it goes, fear the light, hear the lies, every hour that passes takes me, living on senseless dreams. Who am I to break? Flee from my only escape until the light of day. The hours that darkness takes me until the light of day. Fear is my only escape. So, you know, flee from my only escape until the light of day. So doing whatever it is that I need to do until daylight comes, when I have to hide away. And the hours that darkness takes me until the light of day. And fear is my only escape. I'm not sure about them. Anyway, it says, fear the light, freedom lies, in the hour the darkness takes me, living on senseless dreams. And then, who am I to break? Free from my only escape until the light of day. The hours that darkness takes me, till the light of day. Fear is my only escape. And that's it. You know, the actual song felt a lot longer. You know, they actually spread out the lyrics, and you know, the music itself, it was very, very good. You know, it had that sort of 80s goth electronica sort of sound to it. Obviously, like I said, not quite the same as the Host album by Paradise Lost, which, as I said, had a more sort of Depeche Mode feel to it. This is its own thing, and like I said, I don't know who else is actually in the band. All I know is Nick Holmes and Gregor McIntosh, but I really like it. You know, I think it's a good piece of music. I'm very intrigued to investigate the rest of the album. So yeah, I'm very different, but still the same, if that makes any sense. You know, like I said, if you'd played this to me, I would have immediately thought that was Paradise Lost, like B-sides from Host, or that sort of era. So, you know, like I said, there's a definite stamp of the band on it, but they've still managed to make it enough their own thing as well. So yeah, interesting. But I don't know what else I can say about that, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, maybe even a subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because it would help me out considerably. And other than that, thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.